all honesty, this it's opened pretty big for a film that opened only 40 million domestically in its first film. I think this one came up above 80 million. And everybody's talking will it hit 1 billion. I'm 1 billion is a really tricky thing to hit. I think if this film reaches like 800 million, they should be popping champagne bottles, honestly. You know?
Honestly, it has already surpassed the opening weekend of Oppenheimer.
Now, if it has legs like Oppenheimer, that'll be interesting. However, Christopher Nolan is a beast on his own, and Denis Villeneuve, he's got the promise to be the next Christopher Nolan, but that man's got a legacy to live up to. He is currently my favorite director working today as a sci-fi fan. I'm just so excited for what his filmography. I don't think I've ever been disappointed, whether it's Arrival, Sicario, just incredible films, and like I've heard that yeah, he's just a committed director, and I would love to see like what he does next. I love the first Dune so much that when I heard he's adapting a sci-fi novel called A Rendezvous with Rama, which is about basically this giant megastructure that enters our solar system and us exploring it. When he said he was going to adapt that film, I instantly just picked up the book and read it and when I read it, it's such a basically this giant megastructure unknown enters our solar system, and we send an expedition team to explore it. And
It
like
kind of
any
sounds like a rival.
yeah, it
Yeah,
does. If I could describe it, it's like a mixture of imagine the fascination of Arrival, that sort of introspective, like exploration, but you kind of explore yourself as a human species kind of thing with Arrival, combined with the exploration aspect of Interstellar, where you're exploring this different environment. If you can combine the emotional weight of Arrival, the meaning of Arrival with the exploration of Interstellar, maybe not the story of Interstellar, but just the exploring an alien kind of world, it is very fascinating. And as someone who's read the book, like it's incredible. Like when they explode it, I don't want to spoil anything else, but basically that giant megastructure is like the size of like it's like this giant structure that's like 10 kilometers across, and like we don't know where it came from, why it's here. Is its intentions harmful? Are there still living creatures inside of it? The book was so fascinating. If you're someone who loves exploration, the book is really, really good. And I actually ended up like getting quite emotional at the end. It's a very kind of emotional book, where like you explore this alien thing, but you feel like you've explored the human race in a certain way.
So it's
that's like
self-exploration.
the.
Sorry?
Does it have like?
You explain humans as an alien species by yourself. It's like self-exploration of your own species.
Yeah, it's something like when you're exploring this alien structure, you kind of discover more of yourself. Like, why are we so curious about these things? What pushes us to go beyond the stars? Why?
Like,
What
why
happens
I'm
if we
curious about the thing, there's a big mega structure outside. I need to know what's in it.
like
Is it
what if
harmful?
just imagine like a giant structure the size of a city just comes into your solar system slowly, and you're like, okay, we got to explore it. And the crew you follow who explores it, they are all like fascinating and interesting. I don't know if you guys will pick up the book, but I remember when I finished the book, I was actually playing the Denis Villeneuve soundtracks as I was listening to the book. That's the best way to read a book. Imagine reading a book knowing that Denis Villeneuve is going to adapt it. I was just playing his soundtrack while reading it. I was on my balcony and I was like tearing up because it's kind of emotional by the end of it.
Does it have a similar sort of like arrival thing where it's really suspenseful at the first part, then it kind of like builds up quite a bit, and then eventually there's like builds one after another.
Trust me, bro. That's Arrival is the best comparison you guys gave because you feel this tenseness of like, what are we going to encounter in this unknown mega structure? And I would say it's super satisfying by the end. Like we've watched films which are not satisfying at the end. Sometimes some would say the first Dune was not satisfying, but a Rendezvous with Rama is like a complete story. And by the end of it, you feel so satisfied. You feel like you've got a complete story, and there's like hope for the future, but also you feel like satisfied with this adventure. And what
So,
is inside that
I,
giant
I,
megastructure, I will not tell. Neil, go ahead.
I do have a question though. Is it, you say you feel satisfied at the end? If this adapts into a movie, will it be one or two? Because I was not the only reason why I wasn't satisfied with Dune 1 is the fact that I needed to wait 2 years to get Dune 2. I was like, damn it.
Oh, trust me, I believe you can adapt this in one film, truly. In fact, Arrival is probably the most if you enjoyed the emotional weight of Arrival, just kind of feeling like this alien-like feeling, but feeling very human, and the tense suspense and that final rush at the end, you're gonna love Rendezvous with Rama whenever he makes it. But enough of that, though. On a serious note, guys, this is the first time the three of us synchronized our movie watching for the podcast. We did it for the fans of this podcast, who we will eventually
my
hope.
Shout out to
friends,
friends.
all three of you.
Oh, how many ever? I hope more than three.
I
But
hope so.
I'll take as many or as little as I can get.
I hope so. As many as anybody we can get. Honestly, we're thankful for y'all. But we've watched this film, and we've said some stuff already in the chat. But this is the first proper review.